We really aren't that perfect. I love living with my papa, my mama, and my sister. Stop lying to yourself. But before I go on, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more awesome videos. I'm 15. My sister is a year older. We all live together in this tiny little city area that's filled with lots of neat shops and restaurants. But the crowds can be overwhelming for me sometimes. It felt like things were going great for all of us, and that we could live in peace until we all grew up to be too old and had to say goodbye. Why am I lying to myself? Why am I lying to you? It wasn't always like this before, you know. 3 years ago, my mother taught me what divorce was when she and my birth dad saw each other. They had been together for a really long time, but she reconsidered staying married with him when she stopped having money. Her credit cards were always maxed out. Her bank account had zeros. I saw it once. And all it led to were these really weird names that I had never heard about in my life. I found out that he had gambled everything away because he was tired of doing the same thing at work every single day. He was hoping that he could win millions upon millions. Those reasons, which I thought made sense, stopped making sense as time passed. We moved out of his house when we walked into the house one day and saw him holding hands and kissing another woman. Things just weren't the same after that. My mom and sister didn't really get along before, but it got worse over time. Some days she'd come home with drugs in hand, or would be drunk off of a can of alcohol she forgot to toss coming home. They'd argue. They'd scream. Sometimes I'd hear the crashes of furniture being thrown around the room. My sister would talk about how much she hated my mom like some sort of crazed chant, and my mother could only sit there and cry. I'd hide behind the stairs as this all went down. I could never sleep on nights like those. A year later, my mom started seeing this man named Lucas. They engaged really quickly, and he was pretty handsome. And as we all spent time like a family, I began to realize that I wanted a boyfriend like him one day. When my mom said he would be our stepdad from now on, I accepted him wholeheartedly. My sister, however, was a little awkward around him sometimes. I didn't think too much about it, though. Our dinners were as normal as ever. We'd take turns cooking together. We'd wash the dishes. We'd spend time as a family. Well, we tried to. And we always went out to the parks and stuff together. They had so many cute moments together. I'd come right home after school and try not to bother them too much. One time I had come home from school and I saw them cuddling together while watching a movie. It was really cute. Okay, so she had her head on his shoulder and Lucas had his arm around her. But I consider that cuddling. That's cuddling to me. Another time I came home, they were in the bathroom together, but the door was locked and I couldn't barge in like I normally do. I knocked on them and they told me, "Hang on." They opened it pretty quick. "What were you doing in there together?" I tilted my head. I didn't really understand why there would be more than 2 people in the bathroom. "Oh, I was just putting on makeup." My sister held up a tube of lipstick with a flustered expression on her face. "I was applying deodorant." Lucas shrugged and smirked. He didn't really seem that much different than how he normally was. "But if you were just getting deodorant, why would you lock the door?" I asked. "Why did it take you guys so long to open it?" They didn't answer me. They just smiled and told me to go set the table for dinner. My sister slowly slipped out of her alcoholic habits, but her mood never improved. She didn't fight that much with Mom, but she stopped talking to her as much as she used to. Maybe she hated her for leaving Dad? She never told me anything, and I was even more confused when I went into Mom's room one day for something and saw the 2 of them sleeping together. I called my mom about it. "Why is Ruby sleeping in the bed with Papa Lucas?" "Oh, she had a scary dream and crawled into bed with him during the night." She seemed so casual about it, like they did this so often. "Don't worry about it too much." I asked my sister about the dream the next day, but all she did was shout at me. "Shut up. You know I didn't have a bad dream." I didn't understand what she meant by that. If they didn't have a bad dream, then what was it? I wanted to ask my mom about it some other time, but that other time never came. One day, I came home from school to an empty house and an open door. No one was in here, and all of our stuff was fine, but where was everyone? Where did they go at a time like this, and why didn't they lock the door behind them? I called my sister, and my heart dropped when I heard the news. Mom is in the hospital. I went to see her, and she didn't look too good. The doctor told me that she had a sick heart, and she suffered from some sort of shock. It put her in a coma. I'm not sure what happened, but I felt sorry for her and wished that she would get better before I left. I took her hand in mine and squeezed it tight. I wanted her to know that even if it felt like she was alone, she wouldn't be so alone anymore. It was then that I saw Papa Lucas and my sister arrive in the room's doorway. They came because they heard that I made it over here and wanted me to take me home. When I asked them what had happened on the way back, they simply shrugged and told me that she was well and that she suddenly fainted. I asked her if we were coming back for her. They didn't respond to me. We went back to the house without my mom. The days that came after got kind of weird, especially around my sister and Papa Lucas. One night, I saw my sister walk into Papa Lucas's room. I wondered if she had another scary dream and followed her in secret. Unfortunately, it wasn't just a playful secret that I had heard slip through both of their mouths. When she dies, we'll get married, okay? I promise you this. Papa Lucas had told my sister this, and all she did was giggle and nod. And my jaw dropped. What was I supposed to do? Why were they so close like this? It only got worse as time went on. Papa Lucas came to sit by me on the couch one day, and all of a sudden came really close to me and said he loved me. He tried to kiss me like he did her, but all I did was push him away and look into his eyes with disgust. I tried to tell my sister the next time I saw her, but all she did was wave me off and reply with a very agitated tone. Lucas wouldn't do that. She turned her back to me. Stop making up so many lies and leave me alone. Everything was too strange and foreign, and so I went to the hospital to go see my mom. I wanted her to be there for me in times like these. I wanted to tell her everything that I had found out, and how I wanted something to be done about it. But when I arrived, my mother had died. They didn't let me in the room. I almost felt like crying. In the end, Papa Lucas was still up to his no-good tricks. He kept trying to kiss me and express his love, but I found it gross and awkward. I had no other choice but to call my aunt. She liked us a lot, and always wanted nothing but the best for us. Now that my aunt lives in this household, I can only hope that she'll catch Papa Lucas doing something when he isn't supposed to. I wonder what she'd say once she found out the truth about him, too.